I call David Bennett.
I just want to congratulate the Minister, the Honourable Michael Woodhouse, for his very fine efforts in getting this bill through the House, and I know the Minister is very interested in immigration and has a particular interest in refugees and providing the best opportunities for people coming to New Zealand. And I see that with the government investment at the Mangere redevelopment, that shows the level of intent and desire by this government to look after people in a vulnerable position. And it's disgusting for the Labour Party to come into this House, and soon the Green Party, to come in here and pretend to be all high and mighty and preying on the vulnerable attitudes of people at their most difficult time. And I think it's disgusting for those two parties. They come in here and they pretend that they look after the interests of the vulnerable when they have no concern for them at all. All they're interested in is getting headlines. And Darian Fenton mentioned the words political football. Well, the only parties that have made this into a political football are the Labour and Green parties that have used that against people in their time of need. And it is a shame that those parties have to stoop to such levels of political expediency to get their message across. This is a good bill. It's necessary for New Zealand. It's something that we never wish to have to actually engage in, but it could happen. It could happen. And New Zealand needs to be ready for that situation. If we are not ready, the Green Party say, so what? If we are not ready, guess who will be on the front line protesting about having rights for individuals? It will be the Green Party out there saying, why haven't we got these rights enshrined? These people deserve everything and anything. That's what the Green Party will be saying, won't you? Exactly, you will be. And then to do the law like this now is something that they won't have anything to do with. The Green Party don't want to look forward to those situations and protect New Zealand and those people's interests, and that's the reality. I bet you the Green Party would be the first ones out there playing it all up, making political capital out of somebody else's misfortune, trying to take advantage of somebody else's difficult situation for their own political capital. They're not in it for the people, they're in it for themselves. They always have been and always will be. That's the Green Party, and the Labour Party is not much better. And when I see that Darian Fenton starts her speech off on World Refugee Day, and my heart bled when I heard her comments about World Refugee Day. But remember in the committee stages of this bill, Darian Fenton's words were that the Australian Labour Party got a good deal in getting rid of those 150 people. A good deal for the Labour Party in Australia was to get rid of refugees. And how dare you come into this House today on World Refugee Day and bloat on about it and say that this bill is against the interests of refugees, when merely a few weeks ago Darian Fenton was in this House saying it was a good deal to get rid of 150 people. It's a good deal. It's a great deal for the Australian Labour Party. There is no presumption of guilt in this bill. This bill sets up a structure and a system that gives people rights and responsibilities. There is nothing wrong with that. It protects New Zealand interests, it protects those people's interests, and I would like to see the other parties in this House take a constructive, practical approach to the solution, rather than using other people's vulnerability for their own political pretences and looking forward to situations which they can just milk for their own occasion. This is not a political football, Mr Speaker. It shouldn't be used as a political football by the opposition. A refugee is a very difficult position to put yourself in life, and it's very hard to come in through that system and to become. It is a very difficult system, and to make that change is something that we must be very aware of the circumstances of those people and not use them in a way that the opposition party is used in this House. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
I call Andrew Little. Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, once upon a time I would have said, when you don't have an argument, you resort to ad hominem attacks, you avoid the issues, you don't talk about the bill, and you talk around it, and you shout and you carry on and you abuse everybody. Now I have synthesised that into